I want to walk away from my time at Ball State knowing that there's nothing more I could have done. I've gotten through the hard days, I've gotten through the amazing days, I've ended up with friends that I'm going to have for the rest of my life. My name's Jordanna and I'm from Vancouver, BC, Canada. I grew up in the middle of the city with a beach 5 minutes away and the mountains, you can go ski a half-an-hour drive. So definitely just being in Vancouver is something that I miss, but I love Muncie and I'm just so grateful I get the opportunity to be here. I have done gymnastics my whole life. I don't remember my life without gymnastics. I hated every other sport. All I wanted to do was be in the gym. I started my training at a club 10 minutes from my house. My mom put me in Mommy and Me because I just had way too much energy. And they were like, wait, she's pretty strong, she's not bad. So I moved to the bigger gym that was 12 minutes from my house. And I got put in the pre-competitive program and I just have never stopped. I had committed for gymnastics not super late, but on the later side in August of my senior year to a smaller school in Missouri. And in December of my senior year, about a week after signing day, they ended up cutting the program. I was driving to gym and the head coach called me, but I had two of my teammates in the car that I drove to gym, so I didn't pick up because I was scared. She never had called me, and one of my friends texted me a Twitter release of all the programs that Lindenwood had cut, and gymnastics was on there, so I found out via text message.
Lindenwood announced last week that 10 athletic programs would be cut at the end of their respective seasons, including men's lacrosse and wrestling, and women's gymnastics and field hockey.
But about 10 minutes later, the head coach had called me back and kind of explained to me what the process was going to look like and how I could move forward in recruiting or not, and kind of what the next steps would be. So I was kind of left uncommitted my whole senior year. I remember actually one of the coaches at the school that I was committed to is good friends with Scott, who's one of our assistant coaches here. And they kind of give similar vibes. And I had emailed Ball State and Scott had called me back, and I remember my first phone call with Scott being oh my gosh, he gives me Sam energy, I just love him. I ended up committing to Ball State a week after I graduated high school, so I ended up missing my actual high school graduation to come on my official visit here. But I committed on my visit. I loved it so much, and I just feel I went through all of the hard to get here, and it has given me such a sense of gratitude in being specifically at Ball State and getting to do gymnastics in college.
She brings a lot of energy to the team, especially on days where it gets repetitive. Jordan's always there to cheer people up, or she'll just be screaming across the gym and just overall brings the vibes up in practice. She's so grateful to be here. There was a time in her life where she didn't know if she was ever going to be able to do college gymnastics because she had this opportunity and then it was just one, and when the next moment it was gone, and so she didn't know what this was going to look like for her. The fact that Ball State gave her a chance, we wanted her on our team. She doesn't ever take a moment for granted. I feel that you can see it throughout her training, throughout just the way she carries herself. She's just always happy to be here and happy to do the hard things.
And I just was these girls are all so close, and that was something that I wanted to be a part of. Being so far away from home definitely was an adjustment, but it was so quick for me to realize my family is at home and they love me so much there. But my parents have always kind of been oh, spread your wings, go fly. And being here, my team has become my people. I will lean on them for everything. I know that I can call them whenever and they'll always be there for me, and that has made the adjustment period so much quicker. I cannot say enough good things about my teammates. I can confidently say I've met the bridesmaids of my wedding. I will lean on them for everything, and they'll lean on me, and we just have each other's backs. And that's something that I feel not a lot of people get to experience in life. I want to walk away from my time at Ball State knowing that there's nothing more I could have done. I've lived every experience. I've pushed myself to my absolute limit. I've gotten through the hard days, I've gotten through the amazing days, I've ended up with friends that I'm gonna have for the rest of my life. I'm like coming from Canada, we don't really have recruiting knowledge like they do here. So I'm just grateful that I got the opportunity to be somewhere. Having that taken away from me was probably one of the hardest things I've gone through. But knowing that like I came out the end and I get to live this experience is really something that like pushes me through every day.